Now, a recent statement by the chairman of L&T has once again ignited the debate on work-life balance. In an undated video, L&T's chairman S.N. Subrahmanyan can be heard telling an employee, "I regret I'm not able to make you work on Sundays." And, quote unquote, "How long can you stare at your wife while at home?" These statements have opened a Pandora's box of work-life balance debates for corporate India employees. Remember, the debate initially began with Infosys co-founder Narayana Murthy suggesting that corporate employees in India should work at least 70 hours a week to boost India's global competitiveness. The L&T chairman has taken it further, batting for a 90-hour work week. Subrahmanyan's inspiration seems to be the Chinese model of work, where the average Chinese worker is putting in a 90-hour work week as compared to the United States, where Americans typically work an average of just 50 hours a week. L&T has in a statement responded by saying, and I quote, "Extraordinary outcomes require extraordinary effort," thus backing the comments made by the chairman. Now, the video widely circulated on social media has created a social media storm, with sharp reactions coming in from across users calling it regressive, tone deaf, and even misogynistic. Let's first listen to what the people had to say.
I regret I'm not able to make you work on Sundays, to be honest. If I can make you work on Sundays, I'll be more happier, because I work on Sundays also. What do you do sitting at home? How long can you stare at your wives? How long can the wife stare at your husband? Come on, get to the office and start working.
नहीं सर, जैसे अभी आप देखिए कि जैसे जो बात हो रही है कि संडे को काम कीजिए, ये कीजिए। सर ऐसा है कि आज आप इंडिया में देखोगे या वर्ल्ड वाइड देखोगे तो जो मेंटल हेल्थ के जो इश्यूज़ है, मेंटल हेल्थ को लेके जो स्ट्रेस से जो बीमारी हो रही है वो सर बहुत ज़्यादा है। तो जैसे हम अगर संडे को भी वीक ऑफ नहीं लेंगे या अगर हम 18 आवर्स काम करेंगे तो उस पर जो ऑटोमेटिकली प्रोडक्टिविटी लॉन्ग टर्म में आप देखोगे तो ये कम होगी।
इस तरीके से अगर इतना ज़्यादा काम करने लगाएंगे तो कॉर्पोरेट एम्प्लॉयज़ को ऑब्वियस है कि मेंटल हेल्थ इश्यूज़ होंगे। पहले भी अपन ने कुछ केसेस देखे थे, शायद से पुणे में किसी का सुसाइड वगैरह का, ऐसे कुछ केसेस पहले भी एम्प्लॉय के साथ हुआ है वर्कलोड की वजह से। एक्चुअली हम दोनों भी डॉक्टर ही है, हमको पता है कि मेंटल हेल्थ का इशू अभी कितना इंपॉर्टेंट है, और इस तरीके से अगर एम्प्लॉय को एक्सप्लॉइट करा जाएगा कंपनी के द्वारा तो उस हिसाब से आगे चल के बहुत ज़्यादा प्रॉब्लम्स फेस करना पड़ेगा मिडिल क्लास जो एम्प्लॉयज़ है ना, ताकि क्योंकि जो हायर पोस्ट पे है दे डोंट वर्क लाइक दैट, वो उस हिसाब से काम नहीं करते हैं। जैसे कि अगर आप बोल रहे हो कि कॉमन जो मिडिल क्लास एम्प्लॉय है उसको आप इतना वर्किंग आवर्स है, तो जो बॉस है उनका भी तो ड्यूटी बनता है कि आप हमारे से डबल प्रोडक्टिविटी दीजिए। आप हमसे एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हो, लेकिन आप लोग क्या कर रहे हो?
I think it disturbs the work-life balance, and I think as a society it's not a good thing to do. Maybe it doesn't contribute well in the society.
मेंटल हेल्थ का भी सवाल है।
Yes.
दीपिका पादुकोण बोल रही है मेंटल हेल्थ खराब हो जाएगी।
Yes.
इतने बड़े आदमी को इतना छोटा बयान नहीं देना चाहिए।
I think it's a political statement. I don't have any views on it, so I think I rather don't give.
Because we have a lot of responsibility. वो तो हम मल्टीटास्क करते हैं तो ठीक है, बट अदरवाइज वी हैव अ लॉट ऑफ रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी। घर को देखना है, फैमिली को देखना है। इट इज़ नॉट एन ईजी जॉब फॉर द फीमेल। नहीं, बिल्कुल आई डोंट अग्री टू इट। I would never go. I would never work in L&T. I would never work.
And now we have Kiranpreet Kaur, Global Talent Acquisition Voice and Top 50 HR PhD Scholar, joining us on this broadcast. Kiranpreet, thank you so much for taking time out to be with us. Talk to us. 70-hour work week was first proposed by Infosys Chief Mr. Narayana Murthy. That itself kicked up a big storm, and now the 90-hour work week looks like the arguments are going in completely different directions. On one hand, there are huge concerns of mental health and work-life balance, and especially post the pandemic, the awakening that seems to be there about striking that work-life balance. And then, of course, the other is about greater productivity and greater accomplishments.
Right. I think, we are trying to violate, just like China is violating the, legal system. If we understand the legal system there, they have an 8-hour working culture, wherein we are already, utilizing the 9-hour working culture in India. We come from a religious background wherein, women are supposed to look after their household also, because we are in a rat race of equality, we also have to work. So I don't think 9 hours should be increased to 13 hours a day, because that is not only going to exert a female employee, particularly irrespective of the gender. I think it's going to exert every employee, killing the innovation and creativity. Also, will only increase mental issues among people. You're already seeing a lot of suicide cases are coming up, with the work pressure that people are feeling these days. The last one was obvious and in news all over the place. So if that is what we want to normalize, I don't think the Gen Z or Alpha for that matter, who's going to be the upcoming working people, would align themselves to, and they wouldn't want to be employed to such organizations. So from cultural standpoint, from health standpoint, I would never recommend any organization to fall into this category for sure.
Right. One thing is you see these different comments coming to different people. In the early stage in your careers, there's some say that 80-hour work week should be made normal. But the question here is the kind of comment that the L&T chairman has made. Now, the questions are like, how long will you stare at your wife? That's completely uncalled for. And second is, you want people to work on Sundays as well. So in this case, you are sort of going to the point where, which Bhavish Agarwal of Ola is making about, the entire concept of weekly offs is a Western concept. This is a time when the entire idea of what a job is and what it means to people is getting redefined. And these comments are essentially coming in from the founders, the chairmen. So in that sense, it's a big, mismatch between what the expectations are from the people who are the bosses and those who are the employees.
I think so I was just reading someone's comment on this. Somebody very rightly said that it should be followed from top to bottom. How about they ask all their leaders to probably do this for 1 year, and let's see how many people actually stay back in their organization before they pass on a generic comment as if everybody would be okay to something like this. We are in a gig economy where people are already doing moonlighting. I mean, with their own choice, they may be working for more than 13 hours as well. But in a continuous manner, if you want to normalize it, I do not think people are ready, or they ever will be. When we talk about Western culture, there are companies moving already to 4 days a week, 3 days off. So how about we start making that normal, instead of pushing people to work on Sundays as well? And I wouldn't like to go deeper into personal lives. I think a lot of people like to watch the faces of their wife or their kids. They are doing this for a living, and they cannot make work all about life. Life exists other than work as well.
And also help us understand, we are talking about the days in which, there is a hybrid and other kind of possible work models that everybody is contemplating as they speak. And also, there is, of course, the threat of artificial intelligence taking up jobs. So in a scenario like this, what choice do employees have when the job market is going through what it's going through?
I think yes, AI we are efficiently utilizing. We do not need a workforce to be working for like 13 hours a day. Hybrid is going to become very, very normal. I don't think people after 10 years would be very happy to do a one employment job. They would be open to take contracts, and it will be a different economy altogether. Having said that, that means that people are making choices. They are trying to create a work-life balance, and they would not like to work as slaves anymore. So I think we are absolutely going the wrong side, and we are just ready to encourage AI utilization. Generative AI is anyway now a thing which is becoming normal, and with the use of it, people don't need to even work for like 10 hours a day if they want to be highly productive.
So you're saying the fact that AI should be harnessed to provide better work hours and better work flexibility to the employees. And, when Mr. Narayana Murthy spoke of it, there was always this conversation around how there is a difference in generations. It is the boomers and then versus the Gen Zs. And that seems to be following suit with the kind of the furore that's been created by the L&T chairman's statements.
Absolutely. So see, the generations are boomers, Gen Z, millennials. Millennials are technically those people who wanted certain things that now Gen Z have, but all have different ideologies. A boomer may not be able to adapt AI, but at the same time, they'll not be open to work for like 13 hours, in a day. And to be able to get innovation in an organization, I think we would always want to get the fresh, blood in the organization, which means we'll be tapping Gen Z. And Gen Z, they are free birds. I don't think you can control them to this extent that, you can make them work for 13 hours a day. That's not going to happen for sure with them.
Right, and as I was going, looking at the laws as well, there is the clear mention of how much, in terms of, what is extra hours. Tell me this: if companies gave the employees the option of working extra hours for extra money, would that then be fine?
I think legally we do have that facility where people can do OT, but that is also limited to a number of hours only. I think that way also the flexibility will not be implied to that extent. 48 hours is what the government norms suggest that people should be working. In China, it is legally 40 hours. We're still, pushing already 8 hours more on people. And then with OT given, I think we are very sorted. I think we're going backwards. We should be future forward in the sense that with the utilization of AI, we should look forward to working 4 days instead of 5. And here we are suggesting 6 days plus.
Right. You also have, words coming in from the likes of Harsh Goenka, who are not exactly in agreement. So in that sense, this is not exactly the India Inc.'s overwhelming view. There are differing opinions within, corporate leaders themselves.
Well, that's true because again, in corporates as well, everybody is at a different stage. They come with different ideologies. They have different exposure, different brands that they work with. So I think the difference will always be there, but we need to understand what is ethically correct and therefore enforce it. I do not think ethically it will be good on the well-being of employee. We are moving towards holistic well-being of employees with the organization. We are talking about benefits that can be given to employees. They become employee value proposition for us. So we would not be taking the wrong route and killing the potential top talent to be hired in an organization with these kind of suggestions.
Right. We will leave it at that. Kiran Preet Kaur, Global Talent Acquisition Voice and Top 50 HR and PhD Scholar. Thank you so much for taking time out to be with us here on News 9.